There are 5 mistakes that you are making in Warzone 2.0 that you need to fix right now. Mistake number 1, you are not utilizing proximity chat to your advantage. First, listen closely to those players with the bad mics. You know the ones I'm talking about, the random popping noises, the fan blowing in the background. That is a dead giveaway someone is nearby. Second, you can get some valuable intel by simply just listening to the comms that you get while you're in a battle or planning a third party. Example, hello, Sand. Oh, Sand! He is camping up a corner big time. Where the fuck is my man at? Is he above me? Mistake number 2, not utilizing your extra backpack slots on plates. In this game, you can only carry 3 plates by default instead of the standard 5 or 8 in the old Warzone. As we all know, it's quite easy just to get shot out of nowhere or unexpectedly and lose all 3 of your plates, and then you're screwed if you don't have any extra in your backpack. Yes, we all want to carry that extra throwing knife, that extra frag grenade, those extra stims, but are those really useful? Plus, with the looting system being slowed down compared to the old Warzone, sometimes you're not going to have time to loot that dead body to get those plates before another player pulls up. Always carry an extra stack, or preferably 2 or 3 at least in your backpack. Trust me, it's worth it. Mistake number 3, and this one's huge, you are not prioritizing gas masks. As you have probably already found out or soon to find out, the gas in Warzone 2.0 hits much harder than in the old Warzone. On top of that, most of us are not carrying stims to help combat that like we would in the old Warzone when we were getting our loadouts and all that good stuff. Now, I know it was probably a cardinal sin to buy a gas mask in the old Warzone unless you were just absolutely stacked on cash, but I promise you, you won't regret it. Some buy stations actually have the durable gold mask in stock, which is a huge added bonus. Being able to make a gas play is huge in almost every in-game situation that I've been a part of, and it's almost like its own little cheat code. On top of that, you can actually carry an extra gas mask, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 in your backpack if you want, which can make for some really awesome gas plays. Mistake number 4, you are simply not looting enough money. Yes, Warzone 2.0 has made it a lot harder to find cash than in the old Warzone. There's not just random stacks sitting around for 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. You actually got to do some searching. But to that point, it is actually really easy to get a lot of cash for your squad. First, look out for these locker contracts on the ground. These are very similar to the scavenger contracts in the old Warzone, and you actually end up usually getting about 1,500 to 2 grand of cash per locker, plus the extra 4 grand on top for completing the contract. And honestly, they are really easy to do and complete, and it's very helpful, especially in those situations where you need to buy back a couple teammates. Another tip, cash registers are actually very common around the map, and each one typically gives you anywhere from 500 to 1,500 bucks a pop, and typically you'll find multiple cash registers all in the same vicinity. Be on the lookout for these when you're looting. And mistake number 5, you are simply playing too fast. I think most of us are used to the very quick pacing of the old Warzone, Caldera, Rebirth Island, but to be honest with you, this game is more like your traditional BR, like your PUBG or your Blackout. You don't have slide canceling or fancy movement to get yourself out of tough situations. If you get shot without warning, chances are you're dead. Now, I'm not saying you need to camp in a corner or camp in a tower all game. Please don't, but always be aware of your surroundings. There's a lot of stuff to get you distracted in this game, from strongholds to proximity chat to NPCs to the slow looting system to all the contracts, the list goes on. I know this should be pretty straightforward by now, but please utilize UAVs to your advantage. Most buy stations always have 1 or 2 in stock, and don't be afraid to hold them for a little while, especially when you know you're pushing a new area. Yeah, you don't have to call the UAV right when you buy it, especially when you've already been in a couple fights and you know your area is probably clear. You can also carry extra UAVs in your backpack, and you can also use your teammates to carry even more. I've also found that the locker contracts give you UAVs or other kill streaks pretty often, which makes these contracts even more important to my point earlier. Now, don't be a bitch and make these 5 mistakes ever again.